Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We start first and foremost by praising the King, the Master, the Sustainer, the Creator of the seven heavens and the earth, the one, my brothers, who gives life, the one who takes it, the one who makes, the one who breaks, the one who gives, the one who takes. We praise Him subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is the only one that's worthy of praise. Praising anything other than Allah is injustice towards Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's injustice. I'll give you a very silly example, very trivial. I want you to imagine you go to a restaurant and you order a meal, and the chef in the back makes his absolute best effort to crack you a meal you've never tasted before in your life. So he sits there and working it and cooking it to the right temperature and the flavors and he puts together such a meal. When the waiter brings the meal over to you, you sit there, you eat it, and you're blown away with it. You're so happy with the meal, you start praising the waiter. You start thanking the waiter for bringing you the meal, but you forget to praise the one that actually created it and put it together for you back there. Wallahi, when you praise anything other than Allah, that's what you're doing. When you see a beautiful car, you should praise Allah. When you see a beautiful brother, you should praise Allah. When you see a beautiful creation of Allah Azza wa Jalla, you should praise Allah. Don't ever in your life praise anything without praising Allah with it. He's the one that's only worthy of praise. We send peace and blessings upon His beloved Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, our beloved Habib, our teacher, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reunite us with him. My brothers, in dunya, there's what they have, a reward system. Every single one of us, Muslim or non-Muslim, there's always a reward system. Why do you go to work? Because you love your boss? Because you want to see his head in the morning at 7 o'clock? Why do you go to work? Because you love working? You go to work because you know that there's a reward at the end of it. Why do you go to school? At least the all-boys school anyway. Why? Because you love your teachers? You go there because you know that, look, I'm going to come to this place, I'm going to struggle, I'm going to make a bit of an effort, and then at the end of it, what am I going to have? A reward. Something is going to come back. And this reward system is what pushes us. It drives every single person. Some people, they do whatever it is that they do to get the reward of fame. He wants to be famous. He wants to be known. Some people do whatever it is that they do so that they can be the best at what they do. Some people want to be the richest. Whatever it is, there is always a reward. My brothers and sisters, tonight we're going to talk about what is it that pushes the believer. Because really, and wallahi, I love speaking to a crowd like this. I love the boys, just the shabab, kicking back with the boys. Because I can just be me. No movies, no formalities, none of this. Let's be real with each other, man. You think I grow my beard, wallah, because I love the look of it? Honestly, let's be real with each other. You think your sister wears niqab because, wallah, you know what, she wants to fit in? Why do we do what it is that we do? Who in his right mind would fast a whole 30 days or 29 days, no food, no water, no nothing, from sunrise to sunset? Who in his right mind will do this? Unless and except there is what? There's a reward. What is the reward for the believer? What pushes us, my brothers and sisters? What makes us do what we do? What makes us put up with the things that we put up with? What makes you bite your fingers in a moment where you would have loved to snap? In general, there's three things. For some of us, we do what we do out of fear of the day of judgment. And this isn't right or wrong. I'm not here to say what's right and wrong. I'm just generally explaining what pushes some of us. For some of us, the fear of the day of judgment is too much for him to bear, too much for her to bear, so therefore she does whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, because the thought of that day is just beyond comprehension. And rightly so. What is the day of judgment? What is it? Wallahi, my brothers and sisters, it's not a joke. Even companions feed. Prophets shook in their boots. They were shaking in their boots of that day. Imagine prophets. Imagine Abu Bakr. Let's speak about the best of the best. Imagine Abu Bakr, a companion whom the Prophet of Allah said what? He says he's the best. He says to his companions, every one of you who did me a favor, I paid back that favor. Except for Abu Bakr. I can't pay him back. Allah will pay him back on the day of judgment. This isn't Wallah Shaykh Abu Tanki. The Prophet of Allah is testifying that this man, I can't pay him. Allah will pay him on the day of judgment. He says, I brought Islam to every one of you, and every one of you buckled for a moment except Abu Bakr. He accepted it immediately. He says, every door to my masjid is to be closed except the door of Abu Bakr. That door remains open. He says, Abu Bakr, for you, the 8 doors of Jannah will be begging for you to walk through them. This man who was promised Jannah countless times, he says, I wish I was dust and I wasn't Abu Bakr, who has to stand before Allah on the day of judgment and be held accountable for the things I've done. Yeah, this is... He says, I wish. He looked at a bird in one narration. He looked at a bird and he flew away. He says, oh, how I wish I was you. Because when you die, you become dust. I mean, if the best of the best is saying, I wish I was that, and I wasn't who I am, who has to stand before Allah on that day, what do you think this leaves for the rest of us? The Prophet of Allah, he says about that day, he says it's a day that is 50,000 years long. How long? 50,000. Not our time. For verily one day with Allah is equivalent to 1,000 years of our days. 50,000 years. In a day where he says confusion. Allah says people will be running around like they're intoxicated, like they're drunk. But by Allah, they're not drunk. But the severity of that day is too much. He says, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you'll be resurrected, naked, uncircumcised, barefooted. So when Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, when she heard this, she says, O Prophet of Allah, are you telling me that I'm going to be standing naked and other people can see me? Look at the haya of these women. Look at the haya of your mothers. This was her concern. O Prophet of Allah, are people going to see me? He says to Aisha, the severity of that day is far greater than people having a perv at one another. It's too much. He says the sun on that day, my brothers, will be 1 mile above your heads. The companion that narrated the hadith, he says, by Allah, I did not know what the Prophet of Allah was referring. Did he mean a mil, meaning the distance of a mile? Or was he referring to the Arabs used to put eyeliner with a little stick, and this stick was referred as a mil? The sisters will probably know it. You know that they buy it from Hajj, that little stick. This to the Arabs was known as a mil. The companion says, I didn't know which one was he referring to. Did he mean the distance of this little stick? Or was he referring to the distance of actually a mile? Nevertheless, imagine the sun is 1 mile above your heads, my brothers and sisters. On a day when there is no shade except His shade, Azza wa Jal. The Prophet of Allah, he says, each one of you according to his sins and according to his deeds. Each one of us will be sweating. And some of us, our sweat will reach our ankles. And some to our knees. Some to our waists. Some to our necks. And some will be drowning in our own sweat. Some of us will be drowning in our own sweat. On that day, my brothers and sisters, you will see how Allah will bring justice between animals. Animals. He will bring an animal that had a broken horn and one that had 2 horns, and the one with the 2 horns, he put it on the one with the broken horn, so Allah will give him his right on that day. Then he'll turn him into dust. Even the kuffar on that day, they will say, oh, how we wish we were what? Turab. They're actually going to wish that they were animals and that they were not human beings who now have to be held accountable. This is the severity of that day. So for some of us, my brothers, hearing about the day of judgment is too much. So some people, they pull up. They fall into line. People start doing whatever it is that they have to do. Be like, Allah, this day of judgment thing, I can't handle it. And some of us, we're a bit more staunch than that, you know. Day of judgment, it's a breeze. Some of us, what works for us is hellfire. Some of us, when we hear about hellfire, wallahi. And some of us, for some reason, we have this funny understanding of hellfire. Some of us, wallahi, we have this. It's not so much that it's a pretty picture of Jahannam, but yani, how bad is it, bro? So like our Sunday barbecue, shall we? And then, wallahi, my brothers, hellfire was enough. Hellfire was enough to bring the greatest men of our ummah down to their knees, man. The Prophet of Allah, he tells us that hellfire on the day of judgment, will be brought forward in front of all of humanity. It's going to be dragged forward in front of all of humanity. And he says on that day it will be dragged by 70,000 ropes. And on each rope, my brother and my sister, there will be 70,000 angels on each rope. Do the maths. 4.9 billion angels will be dragging hellfire. 4.9 billion angels will be dragging hellfire in front of humanity. And then when hellfire sees the disbelievers and sees the sinners for the first time, hellfire will burst. It will actually burst out of anger and frustration. And when it bursts, every one of those 4.9 billion angels will actually let go of the ropes out of fear. Every single living creature will fall to its knees out of fear. And Allah will say, get up. Today is not the day of prostration. Today is the day of punishment and judgment. Prophet of Allah, he says the minimum, you know what the minimum? Yani the best bloke in Jahannam, the best, the wali of them, the most loved to Allah in Jahannam, is a man who will be made to stand on 2 burning coals, and his brain will be boiling from the heat, and this man would think that he's copying the worst punishment. But little does he know, he thinks he's copying the worst. The Prophet of Allah, he says, he actually has it the best in there. We're talking about a place, my brothers and sisters, there is no air conditioning. There is no dancing and music and hanging out. This is a place, I want you to imagine, you know what, don't use your imagination. I want you to imagine the one who's perfect by nature, the one who is supreme by nature, the one who when he creates to absolute perfection. You know what, forget this. I want you to imagine this. Maybe this for the boys, it sinks in a little bit more. I want you to imagine, Malish, forgive me, I know the sisters downstairs, but let's just be real, yeah? I want you to imagine one of the boys here now. You come home, yeah? You come home. And when you come home, you come to the front door, I mean, you realize, you know what, the front door's open, man, what the hell's going on? You walk into your house, only to see your wife, your little 2-3-year-old daughter, your whole family was butchered. Not only they were butchered, they were raped. Not only were they raped, khalas, imagine the worst of the worst, ghadab beyond ghadab, beyond ghadab. And all this was done by one man. And then you actually find the man in the house. And you get your hands on him. And I know maybe for some of us, because maybe it's not in our nature, you feel like, you know what, I'm not the one who's violent. I want you to imagine you actually grab the bloke and you physically can put it on him. Yeah, you physically can overpower the man. And now I want you to imagine there is no law. And I want you to imagine that you can do whatever you want to him and you will not be held accountable, you will not be held responsible. Let the most creative man here tell me, what would you do to this guy? Wallahi, whatever you think of, every single one of us collectively, it's rubbish, because we're human beings, we have defects, we have shortcomings, we are imperfect by nature. Whatever you're going to possibly imagine is nothing. Imagine Allah, the King of Kings, the one who's perfect by nature, designs a place to do nothing but punish. He designed it to do nothing but punish. What do you think it's going to be like, bro? You think it's going to be like robes? You think it's going to be like your Sunday night barbecue with the family? He designed it to punish Azza wa Jal. So some of us, when we hear this, Allahu Akbar, we buckle. So we what? We straighten up. And then, my brothers and sisters, there are some of us, we worship Allah not out of fear of the Day of Judgment, not out of the fear of hellfire, but we do what we do out of the love and the longing and the wanting of His Jannah. And tonight, this is my topic, man. My brothers and sisters, what has Allah prepared for those who pass the test? What has Allah Azza wa Jal prepared for those who on the Day of Judgment the book will be given to them in their right hands? For some of us, my brothers, when you hear what Allah has prepared for you, nothing can be a better reward. Nothing can be better encouragement than knowing what Allah has prepared for those who pass. What has Allah prepared? Before we talk about Jannah, for you to be able to appreciate Jannah, let's talk about dunya for a minute. What does dunya have to offer you? You know, my brothers and sisters, you by nature, nothing in this world can ever satisfy your heart. And I'll give you examples. But do you remember when you were young? What was the biggest drama in your life? What was the biggest obstacle in your life from you living the life you've always dreamed of? It was what? You know what? Before that, I remember when I was young, when all my cousins first started buying Nintendos, and we had that piece of Tanak Atari thing, huh? This is injustice, man. On Eid, all my cousins, they're talking about Nintendo and Mario Brothers, and we've got that little Tanki Atari thing, man. So in my heart, I'm thinking, what? This is a life? This is miserable, man. This is azab. I am being punished. Mom, Dad, this has got to stop. This is injustice. I will bear witness and testify before Allah. This is inhumane. Wallah, I did my mum's head in that much, bro. And wallah, you know what, man, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, wallah, they were struggling to pay rent, bro. Wallah, she saved her money however she could, and she bought us a Nintendo. But by the time she bought it, you know what happened? The Nintendo 64 came out. No, the Super Nintendo. Wallah, some of the younger guys are thinking, bro, what crack is this guy on about? Man, it's very old, huh? So all my cousins are playing Super Nintendo, Mario Kart, you know, the buttons on the side. And I'm playing that bloody stupid Duck Hunt game, bro. Whack, 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 whack.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm thinking, bro, this has got to stop, man. Mom, Dad, Zulm, this is not right. Look, wallahi, this is dunya. This is dunya. I have to mention this for you to appreciate Jannah, wallahi. So I came to my mom. Mom, this is too much. Wallahi, she saved money and then she bought me a Super Nintendo, bro. What happened after the Super Nintendo? Like, deep with these guys, bro. Wallahi, we kept buying the one, and every time I bought it, something new came out. Until eventually I got over it. Bro, do you remember, wallahi, forgive me, man, I'm going back down memory lane. You remember when those Adidas clip-ons came out, bro? You remember them? But they were $80. Sure, $80. You were buying clothes from Su'ahal, bro, what the hell? $80 for those clip-ons, and on Eid, when we went to the Kebab house, it was like an Adidas factory outlet, bro, everyone's wearing them. And I'm wearing the same suit and tie from 3 years ago. This is you know what, I don't want to pray, bro. I don't want to come to the masjid anymore. Then I bought the Adidas. You know what happened? Nike brought out clip-ons and then you get to an age where what the biggest problem in your life is what? Be honest, bro. Wallahi, I'm trying to paint a picture. I'm not trying to make you laugh. I'm actually trying to paint a picture. And then what happened? I gotta get my bloody L's, bro. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep walking to the station. You look like a drunk, bro. What do you mean, bro? I gotta get my license. So he started counting down the days, bro, Xing on the calendar. Wallahi, I remember X, waiting for the day I turned 16. And back then, when you do your L's, it's for free. So you fail 100 times a day, no problems. I'll sleep at RTA. I'll sleep there. fail, no problems. I'm not shoot, bro. I'm ready. Until you got your license, man. Do you, wallahi, am I living in my own world, or do you boys share the same thing? Do you remember when you got your L's? Came home, got my L's. I don't have a car. Couldn't use my dad's car yet, Taraga GL, bro. Think I'm gonna drive that around? What happened? What happened? Your misery, your biggest problem was your license. Now you have it. Then I got my license, now I don't have a car. Well, this can't continue. So we started, bro. Left and right, fought, tahat, mabar, shoo. We put some money together and we bought a car. I'm not going to expose myself, but we bought something. And wallahi, I drove that thing like it was a Lamborghini. Wallah, up and happiness, happiness, happiness. I was so convinced that my eternal happiness lies in this. And then you bought a car. Yeah, that was mafni, bro, but it's all right in comparison. And then there's always that bloke at school. There's always this bloke at school that you laughed at all your life. We all put it on him, huh? But this bloke was working after school, saving money. And when he bought a car, he actually bought a decent car. So now he's rocking up to school, now he's the cool bloke, you're not. Fine, start looking at your car. What's happening? I can't do this anymore. And from that day, wallahi, from that day to now, you've been changing cars. Have you found happiness? Billah alaykum, have you found happiness? Then after the car, what is it? The dirt bikes, huh? No. The bayonet, but the elbows and the... I can't keep doing this. Mom, Dad, I gotta get married, man. This is I gotta get married. I am convinced, cuz, when I get married, that is true happiness. All the single brothers here, and I'm sure, Rima, I'm sure you'd agree, all the boys that are struggling come to, cuz, I gotta get married, bro. Find me a wife, Rima, bro. Find me a wife, bro. Find me a wife, find me this. He can't pray, he can't read Quran, he can't do anything. I have to get married. And he's convinced that his happiness is there. What a miskin, bro. So then you get married. And you're convinced, bro, as soon as I get married, what's going to happen? Halas, bro, wallahi. How many of us, my brothers and sisters, how many sisters delay wearing hijab? Why? Why? Brother, I've got to get married. But wallahi, as soon as I get married, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Wallahi, I'll start wearing my scarf. Then she gets married. Then it's what? Brother, after the honeymoon. Then after the honeymoon, it's what? Brother, as soon as I have my first kid. Then after the first kid, it's what? And this is the cycle of dunya, man. We got married. We're still in the KK stages. Her father doesn't let you take her out. And now there's problems. Now it's, bro, I just can't wait to get married, have my own house, get out of here. I've got to start living life. I remember on my honeymoon, wallahi, on my honeymoon, I was told the honeymoon's the best period. But 3 days into my honeymoon, I want to throw her from the hotel room. That's why. And it's not about her. Wallahi, you know, this isn't an attack against women. This is how it is for everyone. I remember an old bloke when I was getting married, and he shot my Jawaz, yeah, wallah, I'm getting married.